A survey of over 400 brands, real companies, not bloggers, found that 40% of clients plan to switch their agency in the next 6 months. Not 4%, 40%. And here's the part that stings. When they asked the agencies why they thought clients left, the agencies said budget cuts and leadership changes. When they asked the actual clients, the clients said delivery problems and poor value. The agencies thought they got fired because of external circumstances. The clients fired them because of internal failures. So, if you run a WordPress agency or you are a freelancer managing multiple clients and you want to make sure you are not quietly on that 40% list, this video is for you. Let's get into it. Let's see a setup survey first. This is one of the survey which say the truth about agency breakups, what clients and agencies really think. Here it clearly stated that the setup marketing relationship survey revealed that 40% of clients surveyed will switch agency partners in next 6 months. This is consistent with our 2023 survey results where Ad Age concluded that more reviews may be coming. Here's what I want you to understand before I list anything. The agencies losing clients are not all bad agencies. Some of them are genuinely talented. Some of them build excellent websites. Some of them care deeply about their clients' businesses. But caring is not the same as communicating. Building beautifully is not the same as building for outcomes. And working hard is absolutely not the same as working on the right things. The mistakes I'm about to name are not beginner mistakes. They are the kind of mistakes that experienced agencies make precisely because they have been doing this for years. And stop questioning whether the way they have always done it is the way it should be done. ভালো কাজ করা এক জিনিস আর ক্লায়েন্ট বুঝতে পারা আরেক জিনিস। দুইটা একসাথে না করলে ক্লায়েন্ট যাবেই। 5 mistakes. Let's go. You are selling websites when your clients are buying outcomes. Here is what your client thinks they are paying for. More leads, more sales, more credibility, more customers. Here is what most agencies actually deliver and talk about. Beautiful design, fast loading speed, clean code, responsive layout, good things, genuinely. But none of them are what the clients actually bought. Your client didn't wake up one morning and think, you know what would change my life? Properly nested CSS classes and a 94 on page speed. They thought, I need to stop losing customers to my competitor's website. The gap between what you build and what they wanted to feel is where most clients' relationships die. Not at the invoice stage, not at the revision stage. Quietly, over 6 months of the client looking at their website and their business and wondering why the website didn't change anything. The fix is not to become a marketer. The fix is to frame every decision you make in terms of the client's business goal. I'm recommending this contact form plugin specifically because it reduces the steps between a visitor and an inquiry from 4 to 2, which directly increases your conversion rate. That sentence is worth more than any portfolio piece. Start every client project by asking, what does success look like for you 6 months after the website launches? Write down the answer, refer to it at every milestone, send a 6-month follow-up email checking on those specific metrics. That one email alone will separate you from every competitor. Client website কিনতেছে না, সে রেজাল্ট কিনতেছে। এই পার্থক্যটা না বুঝলে এজেন্সি টিকানো যাবে না। Your plugin stack is your client's liability. Let's go to WP.org and see some plugins. Let's go for security plugins. Let's see what we find out here. WordPress security, plugin security, bulletproof security. As you see, now imagine you are a client. You paid someone to build your website. You have no idea what's running in the background. And then one day your website gets hacked or breaks on a WordPress update or starts loading in 6 seconds instead of 2. And you have to explain to your agency why. Most agency clients think their WordPress site has one plugin, the one that makes it look nice. They don't know there are 24 other plugins running in the background, 3 of which haven't been updated since 2021, and one of which was last updated by someone who appears to have deleted their entire GitHub account. Or may die, who knows? Here's the real problem. Most WordPress agencies build sites with whatever plugins they are comfortable with, not whatever plugins are best maintained, best supported, or most likely to be alive in 3 years. This is fine when it works, but when it doesn't, when a plugin conflicts after a WordPress update, when a security vulnerability gets discovered in an abandoned plugin, when a developer sunsets their plugin without warning, your client's website breaks and they call you. And you explain that this wasn't your fault. And not, but then quietly they start asking around for another agency. The fix? Maintain a documented, reviewed, curated plugin stack for your agency. Review it every 6 months. Ask yourself, is this plugin actively maintained? Does the developer have a specific roadmap? Are there better alternatives now? If a plugin in your standard stack gets acquired or shows signs of neglect, replace it proactively before it becomes a client problem. Plugin stack মানে এজেন্সির রেপুটেশন। একটা খারাপ প্লাগিনের জন্য একটা ক্লায়েন্টও হারায় যেতে পারে। You disappeared after launch. This one hurts me to say because I know so many talented agencies that do exactly this. They build a great site. They hand it over, they send a lovely congratulations on your new website email, and then they disappear completely until the client emails about something broken, which is not when you want to be remembered. For most agencies, the launch day email is the most enthusiastic communication the client will ever receive. Everything after that is reactive. Thanks for reaching out. I will get to that by end of week. The vibe changes completely once the invoice is paid. You go from excited partner to reluctant support desk. Here's what clients experience post-launch. Their website is live, traffic doesn't change, nothing measurable improves in the first 30 days because websites don't automatically bring customers. Nobody explains this to them, so they wait. After 60 days, they send a polite email asking, is everything working correctly? After 90 days, they stop being polite. Agencies that neglect communication or only reach out during crisis risk losing clients. A lack of proactive, transparent updates can lead clients to feel uncertain about whether their investment is going. That's not my opinion. That's what clients told researchers in a 2025 study. They don't want to chase you. They want to feel like their investment is being managed, not abandoned. The fix is simple and costs almost nothing. Build a 90-day post-launch communication sequence into every project. Week 2 check-in, week 4 performance update, month 2 email with any suggested improvements, month 3 review call, even 20 minutes to discuss what's working and what isn't. This is not expensive. This is the difference between a one-project client and a 3-year retainer. লঞ্চের পরে গায়েব হয়ে যাওয়া মানে ক্লায়েন্টও গায়েব হয়ে যাবে। এটা সিম্পল ম্যাথ। You are not documenting anything. Your clients have no idea how their website works, and neither does anyone who might replace it. This is the mistake that sounds small but compounds into a catastrophe. Here's how it plays out. You build a website, it's excellent, you configure everything perfectly, the caching settings, the backup schedule, the form integrations, the custom post types, the staging workflow, all of it lives inside your head, in your muscle memory, in a folder on your laptop that nobody else has access to. Your agency's entire technical knowledge base is effectively stored in one person's brain. That person then goes on holiday or gets sick or radical thought, decides to start their own competing agency, and suddenly your client's website is a mystery that nobody can solve without calling that one person who now charges consulting rates. Clients who feel like their website is a black box they can't understand and can't escape from don't feel empowered, they feel trapped. And trapped clients eventually make a very deliberate effort to escape to a competitor who promises a handover document on day one. The fix is simple. Document everything as you build it, not a 40-page PDF nobody reads, a simple human language document that tells the client what plugins are installed and what each one does, who the hosting account belongs to and how to access it, what the backups are and how to restore one, what happens if XYZ breaks. Hand this document over at launch, make it part of your standard deliverable, call it the site ownership guide. It signals to the client that you want them to understand their website, not depend on you out of helplessness. Ironically, the more you document, the more transparent you are, the more clients want to keep you anywhere because trust is sticky. ডকুমেন্টেশন মানে উইকনেস না, এইটা প্রফেশনালিজমের বড় একটা মার্ক। সবচেয়ে বড় এজেন্সিগুলি এইটা করে। You are ignoring performance as a business metric. This is the final mistake, and this one is increasingly unforgivable in 2026. Most WordPress agencies treat website performance, LCP, CLP, core web vitals, mobile experience as a developer concern, a technical checkbox. Something you optimize if there's time left after the design is done and the client has approved the homepage. This is a wrong mental model, and it's costing agencies clients who don't even know why they're leaving. Here's what the data says. A 1-second delay in page load time can reduce conversions by up to 7%. Nearly 80% of websites face performance and design issues due to poor development decisions. Google's core web vitals are a direct ranking factor, meaning a poorly performing site doesn't just feel bad, it ranks lower, which means less traffic, which means the client's business gets less leads, which means the client eventually associates bad website performance with the agency I hired. They won't always say this explicitly. They will just say the website isn't working for us. Is the client equivalent of it's not you, it's me. It's always partially you. Here's what's changed. With WordPress plugin like WP Rocket, perf meters, and proper hosting configuration, achieving strong core web vital scores is within reach of most agency builds. It's not magic, it's methodology. And agencies that make performance a standard deliverable, that run page speed reports at handover and explain what each number means to the client's business, those agencies build reputations that other agencies can't easily replicate. Make performance a client conversation, not just a developer task. Show your clients their scores at launch. Explain in plain language what LCP means for user experience. Tell them the score you achieved and why it matters. That conversation, which takes 5 minutes, positions you as a business partner who understands what the website is actually for. Website slow মানে ক্লায়েন্টের টাকা নষ্ট, সেইটা এজেন্সির দায়, আর দায় না নিলে ক্লায়েন্ট যায়। 5 mistakes, let me recap them first. 1. Selling websites instead of outcomes. 2. Maintaining a lazy plugin stack that becomes your client's liability. 3. Disappearing after launch. 4. Documenting nothing and creating dependency through obscurity. 5. Treating performance as a technical checkbox instead of a business metric. None of these require a complete agency overhaul to fix. Every single one can be addressed with a process change, a new template, a new email sequence, a new checklist, a new conversation. But here's the uncomfortable truth underneath all 5 mistakes. Most of them come from agencies that are focused on getting the next client rather than keeping the current one. Acquisition is exciting, retention is quiet, and the agencies that last, the ones that grow through referrals rather than cold outreach, are the ones who made retention their primary growth engine. Agencies with 16 or more years of experience were the most consistently profitable, not the fastest growing, not the ones with the flashiest portfolios, the most consistently profitable. Longevity in this industry comes from keeping clients, not from winning them. The best agency growth strategy in the world is to do good work, communicate clearly, and not disappear. Turns out most agencies can't manage all three simultaneously, which is why the ones who do become legendary. I want to hear from you on this one. Which of these 5 have you actually experienced, either as an agency owner who made a mistake or as a client who lived through the consequences? Drop it in the comments, tell me the specific situation, what happened, how did it end? And if you are an agency owner who has a 6th mistake to add, one I missed, I especially want that in the comments, because the goal of this channel has always been to surface the things that people know but don't say out loud. Comment, I reply to everyone. That's not the channel slogan. That's how this actually works here. ভাইয়া বাপু, আপনারা এজেন্সিতে অথবা ক্লায়েন্ট হিসেবে এই 5টার মধ্যে কোনটা এক্সপিরিয়েন্স করছেন কমেন্টে বলেন। আমি সব কমেন্ট পড়ি এবং সবগুলোরই রিপ্লাই দিই। See you in the next one.